Hi, my name is Marucci van het Veen from Drawing to Health, and welcome back to the course. In the last video, I talked in length about the pros and cons of every kind of transport that we had talked about in all these videos. And this video will basically be about how you can best plan your trip. Since most of these are just going to be for public transport, I'm going to show you several things. Let's see. So basically, I'm just going to show you these three things. Excuse me. I'm just going to show you these three things. First of all, the OV card, which is, I'm going to explain that all in seconds. Then 9292, which is our site that we use for public transport, and Google. It doesn't have to be Google, but Google Maps. Basically any kind of maps software on the internet. I'm just going to take Google because it's the most known. But if you have an Apple, you might know Apple Maps or any other kind of maps software. So let's get started. The OV card. Well, I have one right here. This one. This is our public transport card. That's basically what OV is openbaar vervoer, and that means public transport. So it's public transport card. This card you can use for the train and the bus. At least this is the system that we have in the Netherlands. You can use these for the tram, the bus, the train, I think even the metro. I'm not quite sure about that, but this is basically all public transport you could do with this. That's what this is for. You can charge these cards with money. You need your bank card for that. But there are several machines that you can use to charge the card with money. There's always one at the station. Not at bus stops. Like a train station always has one of the machines that you might need for this. I do believe some supermarkets also have one of these machines that you can put these cards in and then charge them with some money. I do think that you can do this through internet, although I think it's better to do it with the machines because they're just for that. So yeah, that's basically this card. Your country might also have one of these cards. It's always good to ask. And depending on how your country system works, these may or may not be for all public transports. Maybe you have one card for the train and another for the bus, or maybe the bus doesn't even have this card system. It's always good to check your own city slash country's policies for this. But at least in the Netherlands, we have this card. The one that I'm holding in my hand is blue, and that means that it's a card that anyone can use. Anyone with this card can travel from one place to another. There's another version, which I don't have on hand with me, but I do have it, and that's a individual card. And that actually has your photo on the front, it has your name, and the card number and valid to date on it. But it does have your personal information linked to that card. Anyone traveling with that card, anyone else cannot travel with that card. Only you. If they check and it has a different picture from the one that is using the card, they're going to say this is not valid. You get a fine and you need to get out. With this, everyone can use it. So there's two different types of cards: the individual one and the how do you say that? Anonymous, I think that they call it, the anonymous card that everyone can use. So that's the OV card. Then there's another thing that I would like to show you, and that is 9292. I'm not quite sure why it's called that way, but this is basically the site slash service that we use to plan our trips with public transport. Now, there are two ways of doing this. If you'll hold on, excuse me for a second. While I try to get this to work. There you go. This is the site. So there's two ways of using this. You can go to the site, which is this one. You can enter your address in here, or station, or postal code, or whatever. You can even add in-between stops if you want. You can add multiple, You can add the date and the time. You can, the time is usually when you want to leave or when you want to arrive. If you want to arrive at a place at, I don't know, 3 o'clock, you can type this, you can do it with this, whatever is easier. The date works with this nifty little calendar. So you can do when you want to leave or when you want to arrive. You can just click those. Now, there's also some extra options. This option is if you want to have a little bit more time between switching from train to bus, for example. You can say, oh, I would like an extra 5 minutes because I don't want to rush. Sometimes you only get 1 minute to get from one thing to the other, and it's at the other end of the station. It's not handy. You're gonna miss your bus. So you can turn this on or just have it as normal. You can choose what kind of transport you would or would not like. For example, I don't want a boat. I don't want the metro. If you hover over them, you can see what it is. I don't want a tram. I only want bus and train. Or you can just leave them on. This is not, again, in my neighborhood, there is none of this. No trams, no metros, no boats. We have some islands in the Netherlands. They're like the small islands on top of the Netherlands, so that's the only thing that really uses a boat. So yeah, barely used option, but it is there if you need. Also, there is a button so you can have, this is for accessibility basically. If you're in a wheelchair, you can do this, and then they will plan accordingly because you need special, like, I think it's either a lift or a ramp, especially for trains. You need a special kind of lift, tram, lift or ramp or whatever. So that's all that. You can turn this on or off. So this is the planner, this is the extra options. There's also here a nice nifty little kind of pop-up that will show you exactly where there are construction or where buses don't drive or drive very late. As said, these are unplanned. So this is all of a sudden, oh, hey, these are not going to work for you right now. If you want to see all of them, you can just scroll down. Now this is all in Dutch. I'm sorry, I didn't really see where you can change this into English. So I'm just going to do my best and try and translate. So this is basically mostly visited things. This is news. This, of course, they made it bright orange so you would see it. This is where all the what's that word? Like work or delays or whatever, they all group them in here, and you can see all of them, or you could look for your own travel. Now this is you can have your own account. This is for business. This is how much will things cost, because with this app you can actually see how much it would cost on average for your travel. Well, this is for questions. This is for looking for your station. This is for locations, and this is again for pricing. But this is, let's see. Oh yeah, this is for either train or just local things. But let's try it. For example, I want to go to the next town over, so I'm just gonna go for Hengelo, which is this station, and I want to go to Enschede, which is the next town over. As you can see, it adds them. I just want to, I'm not going to make that. Let's just say that I want to do this tomorrow. Oh, a small thing. That is basically what this says. This is basically because of the current situation of Corona. I don't know how long this will last, but it's basically saying that whatever is said here might not be the actual date and time, and also not to go with public transport if you can help it. this is just for now. I don't know how this is going to be in the future, but just, so you know that that's why this is here. We're not going to pay any attention to it because we're not actually traveling, so that's fine. But just so you know that they do give a warning when there is something that will interfere with their ability to tell the times accurately. But that's fine. Let's just say that we want to go tomorrow at 3 o'clock to Enschede. Click here, plan mijn reis. It's going to think about it. And then you have here a very nice overview of your travels. Now, this is just basically the information that you filled in. So here you have the actual times. This up here will show you the times at which you can leave and arrive. Now, I said that I wanted to arrive at 3 o'clock, but it put me a little bit later. I don't really like that, so let's move to the one before that, which will, as you can see, make me leave at 14:47, but I will be there at almost 3 o'clock, 14:56. Now, you can see here that you need to leave at track 3A. It will tell you what kind of train you need to get. If you click here, you'll see that there's one stop in between the two cities. This particular train stops in between cities. Not all trains do this, at least for this line. So it's always handy to know if this one stops or not. So that's why it says that. And you will also see where you will arrive. Now, there's several options to save this in your account. You can put it into your calendar. You can print this out. You can share this, and you can copy this to, give it to someone else or something. As you can see here, it says how much your trip will cost. So as you can see here, well, I'm going to translate it for you. This is a link to charge your card. You can do this through the internet site. So that's what this is for. It will link you to another website where you can do that. If you're like, why is this so much? Especially if you're like going with a train and a bus and something else, it will give you here the price. But if you're like, I want to know exactly why it costs this much, you can see it here. Especially sometimes you might get a discount because of being a student or traveling in a certain time frame. You might get your discounts. So it's always good to check if you have a discount, what the discount price is, because you can see here it's 150, not 248. So it's always good to check. You can see all prices of everything right here, but usually for just your trip, it's not needed. So that's that. And also, if you want a subscription for this journey, they can actually calculate the price for you. Let me just 5 a week. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm asking like how much would a subscription for this journey cost me? So they're asking for my age, and they're asking how many times a week or a month, how many days do I make this travel? So you can choose a week or a month. It will give me advice, and you can see how much it will cost me to get a subscription. So this is the cost in a month, and this is cost in a year. And they make a comparison how much it will cost you without the subscription, which is 107 a month, and for the subscription, it's 76. So that's quite a lot of savings. So exactly the same here, because this is it's the same thing, but only in a year. So normally I would pay, wow, almost 1,300 euros, and here it's almost 800. So that's how you can see how that works. Now there's a couple of extra information that you might read if you want to, but we don't need it. So this is how 9292 works, the site. There's also a phone, an app that you can use, and this is what it looks like. Now, I do know that the app changes its language to either Dutch or English. Now, my phone is in English, so it changes the language to English. I'm not sure if 9292 has more than those languages, but you know, English is an option. So if you speak English, I hope you do, otherwise you won't be able to understand me that well. Um, Anyways, if you speak English, you can use this app to, you know, plan your travels. Again, I do realize that 9292 is a Dutch, it's a Dutch service, so I'm pretty sure that there's not going to be a 9292 in another country. But I'm showing you this because I think that maybe in your country they might have some sort of system that is very similar, and as such, I want to show you how such a system might work. As you can see, you can input whatever you want. So this is a very nice tool to be able to figure out how you get to work. So, but that is only for public transport. There's also, of course, you know, a car and a bike and walking. How are you going to do that? Luckily, we have Google Maps. So let me go to Google Maps. Maps.com, please. There you go. Okay, so right now it's in where I live, which is this is Hengelo. Let me just zoom out for you guys. This is where I live, Hengelo. Um, so if I want to go somewhere, so let's say that I want to go to my work, which is in Deventer, which is a city quite far away. So as you can see, it brings me to the city so I can look at all these things. Here's the option for routes. I can save this. I can see what's in the neighborhood. I can even send this to my phone or share it. So this is Google Maps. This is how it shows you the city. But let's say I want to plan my route from my house to the city. How about we just, you know what? We click on something so it has a definitive like actual address and not just the city, because it if you pick the city, it's just going to send you smack dab in the middle of it, you know, without anything. So it's best to just have a how do you say this, like a precise address. I just clicked on this restaurant. I've been here before and I really like it, so I want to go there again, but I don't remember how to go there. So what you do is you press route, and as you can see, it has already put the end as the restaurant. Now I do have home and work and whatnot. I have them here, but just to make it easier for you, I'm just going to actually type it out um, so you know exactly what it does. There. I press enter, and yeah, this is the right one. So at the top here, you can see more options, right? You can see multiple modes of transport. Now, flight is a little bit ridiculous, but if you want to plan your flight, you can do so through Google. Right now, it's at the public transport thing, so it will show you how to get there, and there's multiple ways that you can do so. If you click on one of these, it will show you the details of what you need to do. So what it's telling me is that I walk for 12 minutes, then get on a bus, and from that bus, I go to the central station. Now, yeah, it always says like, oh, you have to actually walk into the central station, and then it says that I need to get onto this specific train. You can even check where it goes, right? Through which city it goes. So, and then it tells me where I need to get out. Then it tells me that I have to walk, and it even has directions as to how you need to walk. And then there's the end result. So that's one of them. You can add this to your calendar. You can check the planner, which basically is um, the time at which you want to arrive and whatnot. It just shows you the timeline. And there's more options. Every option you click, and then it shows you exactly what to do. But what if I don't want to go with a public transport? I want to go with a car. Okay, you click on the car and it shows you how you need to drive. But wait, as you can see, there's road work right there. So it does warn you for road work or for any sort of construction, so you know at least that it's going to take a while. It shows you how long you're going to take, how much kilometers it is, and if you click on it, you can see the directions, and it shows you step-by-step directions. Now, again, you can send this to your phone, you can share it, you can print it. Yeah, so do keep in mind that Google Maps might not be the most accurate. It's always good to check your government site for roadwork or the site of the provider for public transport for any sort of work on tracks or whatnot. It's always best to do that because they just basically get their information from like a standardized set of data. So it might not always be 100% accurate. I do think that they say this as well. So yeah, there's more options. Of course, you can go for walking, and well, it will take you 9 hours. It will take you 9 hours of walking. Oh, this is the elevation levels as well. Apparently, hold on. Apparently, there's quite a hill right here. So that's a thing. I didn't know that. As you can see, the Netherlands is pretty flat because this elevation is negligible, really. Our country is mostly flat. There's not much elevation. But anyways, yeah, so you can get directions, all of this. And again, you can send it, this is still the same, so that doesn't matter. I think yeah, this is bicycle. This is how you would go on a bicycle, and there's more roads, and every time you pick a different road, it will be highlighted. So that's all the modes of transport. There might be more depending on if it's available, because I think if you do something in Amsterdam, you might actually get a tram option as well here. So that's a thing. You can also add a second destination, but we don't need it, so we can just remove that. There's also options. You can go for a mile or kilometer, and if you don't want the ferry, you can say, I don't want the ferry. So there, that's Google Maps. Now, Google Maps on the internet is one thing, but you also have Google Maps on your phone, or at least there's an app for it. I was going to show you, and I cannot. Oh, there it is. They changed they changed how that is. Right. So here's the app, and it basically works the same way as the site does. It has a little bit more options usually, but if you press here, you can search. I don't know if you see it that well, but you can search the place that you want to go to just as you do on the website. Um, However, here you have a list. I don't know if you can see it, but down here at the bottom, there's a little bit more options that you can choose from. If, for example, you go to saved, you can save places, as you can see right here. You can save some places. You can make it favorites. You could star it. You could put it as places you want to go to. Um, so the Google Maps app has a little bit more um, variety in what you can do with it. So, and it's easier because it's on the road, right? Um, you can like get directions from the phone. So that's a good way to plan your route to work. Now, Google Maps, as I said, the information is not 100% accurate. However, it is In my case, I found that the information is very accurate, especially now that they allow people to warn others of roadworks or congestions and whatnot. Google actually gets all that data and it sends it out live to you, so you'll know to go around or whatnot. So that's pretty much all that I have to say. That's all the things that you could use to plan your trip to work. Um, Now, yeah, I think I've told you pretty much everything I know. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you learned a great deal from this course and that it will make it easier for you to plan your trip to work accordingly. So, yet again, thank you very much for watching, and I hope this has helped you in your further endeavors. Goodbye.